Tears filled the room in an instant. Jungkook could not hold back his emotions when Jin appeared before him with words no one expected to hear. What could have pushed the eldest member of BTS to break down his pride and ask for forgiveness from the youngest? And why did Jungkook's tears turn into the most shocking moment that left ARMY shaken? These questions now dominate conversations, as the incident has become one of the most talked about and emotionally charged revelations surrounding the group. The sight of Jin standing in front of Jungkook was enough to raise tension. Known as the strong Hyung who rarely shows vulnerability, Jin's sudden decision to admit regret and utter a direct apology was not only surprising but also unsettling. Jungkook's reaction, bursting into tears almost immediately, added another layer of complexity. Fans and observers alike have been left questioning what truly transpired between the two, and what could have been so heavy that it forced such an intimate and raw exchange into the open. The narrative of BTS has always been one of brotherhood, sacrifice, and unspoken struggles behind their immense success. But this rare display of regret and sorrow between Jin and Jungkook offers a deeper, more unsettling glimpse into the burdens they carry. Jin's apology did not come with fanfare or scripted words. It came with trembling sincerity, and those who witnessed it could not deny its weight. Why did Jin feel compelled to apologize now? And why did Jungkook, usually resilient, collapse under the gravity of those words? The timing of this moment has raised even more speculation. With BTS's activities dispersed across individual projects and with their members facing the strains of balancing personal growth and group expectations, the pressure is undeniable. Within this context, Jin's act of showing up and admitting regret becomes all the more striking. It suggests unresolved matters, moments left unspoken, that finally forced their way into the light. Could it be guilt from the past? Or was it a simple acknowledgement that even within the closest bonds, pain and misunderstanding exist? Observers describe Jungkook's tears not as quiet, but as explosive, tears that came from a place of exhaustion, longing, and deep emotional connection. It was not the image of a younger brother simply touched by his elder's concern. It was a breakdown rooted in history. Jungkook has long carried the image of the group's golden magne, but beneath that title lies a human being who has endured immense pressure. Jin's apology, therefore, may have touched a wound that had been waiting too long to be acknowledged. The apology itself remained shrouded in mystery, as Jin did not reveal specifics. Yet the intensity of Jungkook's reaction suggests that the words carried a meaning only the two of them fully understood. This uncertainty fuels both speculation and emotion among ARMY. Was Jin apologizing for a personal conflict, a moment of neglect, or for something much larger? The weight of responsibility he felt as the eldest in the group? The absence of clarity has only intensified the impact, making the moment feel both intimate and universal. What makes this situation even more poignant is how it disrupts the narrative of invincibility often attached to BTS. For years, the group has been portrayed as a seamless unit, supporting one another through thick and thin. Yet moments like these remind the world that behind the stage lights, they are men grappling with their own regrets and relationships. Jin's visible remorse and Jungkook's uncontrollable tears are proof that even the strongest connections are not free from strain. The shock factor lies in the vulnerability itself. Jin, who is often seen as the comic relief or the stabilizing figure, allowed himself to break the facade. His regret was not hidden in a carefully crafted statement, but revealed through raw emotion. And Jungkook, whose strength has always been tied to perseverance, allowed himself to collapse into that honesty. Together, the two created a moment that was far too powerful to be ignored. Reactions from those who learned of this event have been intense. Many describe it as the most emotional turning point in the group's history. ARMY members across the globe have expressed a mixture of heartbreak and admiration. Heartbreak at seeing their idols in such visible pain, and admiration at the courage it took for them to reveal it. The moment is being dissected frame by frame, word by word, as fans attempt to piece together what exactly pushed Jin to apologize and why Jungkook's response was so devastatingly raw. Some speculate that Jin's regret may stem from his role as the eldest, feeling that he did not protect Jungkook enough during times of overwhelming pressure. Others believe the apology could have been tied to personal moments within the group's history that never reached the public eye. Whatever the reason, the undeniable fact remains. Jin's words carried a weight that broke Jungkook's composure, exposing a layer of humanity that BTS rarely shows so openly. This event raises larger questions for the future. What does it mean for the dynamic between Jin and Jungkook? How will this moment shape the way the group moves forward, especially as they continue to navigate the challenges of their careers and personal lives? The fact that Jungkook responded with uncontrollable tears suggests that this apology may have been long overdue, a release of emotions both had held back for far too long. Ultimately, this is not just about a single apology. It is about the reminder that success, fame, and unity come with unseen costs. Jin's visible regret and Jungkook's breakdown reveal the cracks behind the perfection, and in doing so, they humanize the idols who are so often seen as untouchable. The moment is painful, but it is also transformative. It forces both the members and their fans to confront the truth. Even the strongest bonds are tested, and even the brightest lights cast shadows. As discussions continue, one thing is certain: this incident will not be easily forgotten. The image of Jin apologizing and Jungkook breaking down will remain etched in memory, a symbol of both the fragility and the resilience of BTS's brotherhood. And the questions will linger. What exactly did Jin regret? Why did Jungkook's tears flow so uncontrollably? And perhaps most importantly, what does this reveal about the unseen struggles that lie behind the group's extraordinary journey? The silence that followed Jungkook's sobs was perhaps the most haunting element of all. It was the silence of understanding, of words unspoken, but deeply felt. In that silence, the bond between the eldest and the youngest was not broken. It was exposed, raw and vulnerable, but perhaps stronger than ever. And it leaves the world waiting, watching, and wondering, what happens next? Under the weight of global attention, the emotional outburst between Jin and Jungkook takes on an even more profound meaning. This was not a moment crafted for cameras or designed for public appeal. It was an unfiltered intersection of regret, accountability, and vulnerability. To many observers, this is precisely why it resonates so deeply. When idols of BTS's magnitude display emotions this raw, it forces even casual audiences to confront the undeniable humanity behind their fame. For Jungkook, the tears were more than just a reaction to Jin's words. They were a culmination of years of pressure, expectation, and emotional suppression. As the youngest member, he has often been seen as resilient, adapting to the challenges of being under the spotlight from a very young age. But this resilience does not erase the emotional toll. When Jin voiced his regret, it was as though a dam had broken, releasing not only Jungkook's pent-up emotions, but also the collective unspoken tension that has lingered within their journey. Jin's regret, however, is equally complex. Known for carrying the role of caretaker within the group, his sense of responsibility extends far beyond what is visible. To hear him apologize so directly indicates an inner conflict, one that perhaps stemmed from moments when he felt he had failed Jungkook, whether in guidance, protection, or simple presence. The apology carried not just words, but years of silent acknowledgement. And in Jungkook's tears, that acknowledgement found its echo. The intensity of the event has led to widespread speculation about its larger implications. Was this a personal apology rooted in private misunderstandings? Or was it symbolic of something broader, a recognition of how much strain the group's youngest has endured over the years? Without a clear explanation, the ambiguity only heightens the emotional weight. Fans are left to interpret based on the fragments they can see, creating a discourse filled with both empathy and unanswered questions. Media analysis points to a fascinating duality. On one hand, the moment highlights vulnerability, breaking the polished image that often surrounds BTS. On the other hand, it reinforces the group's authenticity, proving that their bond is not superficial but layered with real challenges, regrets, and reconciliations. In a world where entertainment often thrives on perfection, this imperfection becomes revolutionary. The tears and apology reveal what many already suspect, that the path to global success is lined with sacrifices not easily visible to the public eye. From a psychological perspective, the apology could be interpreted as cathartic for both. For Jin, voicing regret may have provided release from the burden of silence. For Jungkook, hearing those words could have validated the pain he may have carried privately for years. The dynamic between an eldest and youngest sibling figure is complex in any context, but within BTS, a group bound not just by work but by brotherhood, it takes on an amplified significance. ARMY's reaction has been swift and emotional. Online platforms are filled with